Good afternoon, and welcome to M.M.E. I'm your host, Blind Prime, and for today, we're going to be looking at the Transformers Studio Series Gamerverse '03 War for Cybertron Optimus Prime. That's a mouthful, ain't it? I mean, its vehicle mode is pretty cool, though, so I guess it's worth the mouthful. It's a wide one for the new stuff, since War for Cybertron Siege began. So it's kind of neat. This is in the War for Cybertron size scale, and it's War for Cybertron, but in the Studio Series verse, and it's a little in the nose there. So, whoops, knocked that off. Anyway, we're going to talk about this guy and do a little hands-on description, describe its features, and also what it feels like and kind of looks like. We're going to use Cliffjumper from Earthrise. Where is Cliffjumper from Earthrise? Where'd you go? Aha, Cliffjumper from Earthrise as a size scale. I like using Cliffjumper because Cliffjumper is the smallest deluxe scale possible, and it kind of gives an idea of what all there is out there. And there's been a few things made with the Cliffjumper mold, and almost at the Cliffjumper size. You have Bugbite, Bumblebee, the Walmart exclusive, and then you have the Origins Bumblebee, the Target exclusive, and I think there's another version of Cliffjumper out there. I'm pretty sure there's another one I'm not thinking about. I know that the Centurion drone, that one's also in the Cliffjumper mold. And another one, maybe it was a Generation Selects like Bugbite. Anyway, there's plenty of Cliffjumper to go around, so if you're interested in that, that's how I do it. I use this small Cliffjumper to kind of showcase exactly, what this thing is compared to the smallest thing in the scale. And the smallest thing in the scale is Cliffjumper here, so let's back up Cliffjumpers. Rear end to Prime's rear end. There we go. And we see that Cliffjumper's nose, the front bumper of Cliffjumper, comes just to the edge of the wheel well for the big front wheel on Optimus Prime here. On the not touching the wheel. Like, it doesn't go across the wheel to the other side of the wheel well. It just barely gets to the wheel well. And just for a little size comparison here, the front wheel of Optimus Prime here comes up, let's see if I get my finger right there. Yeah, it comes up to be about there, just above the doorway on the Cliffjumper. Just to where the window starts on the Cliffjumper is where that wheel, actually no, now that I'm feeling it, the wheel, let's get them really close together. That wheel goes most of the way up the window on a Cliffjumper. The front wheel on this Optimus Prime is huge. The back wheels, not so much. The back wheels are about the size of Cliffjumper's hood. So, gives you an understanding of that. And, of course, this thing is a couple of Cliffjumpers wide. And let's talk about that with our handy-dandy Lego pad. So, let's set Cliffjumper off over here, down here, and Lego pad over here. You're hiding under a couple pieces of equipment. Make sure that's a safe. Cool. Handy dandy Lego pad. Let's take a look at length and width. Let's talk about both of those things. Alright, so lengthwise, this guy comes all the way up here. So we've got 17, 18, 19, 20, 21 studs in length from nose bone to tailbone. From the tip of his front bumper to the tip of his rear bumper. Wow, he's a long dude. Width-wise, he is, let's get him all the way up here, alright, and there we go. He is 10 studs wide at his widest, and I've already pre-measured this. Earlier, he's 9 studs wide at his thinnest. Isn't that neat? That's pretty cool. And height-wise, let's get him to his biggest height here with the axe on top. And this is rough at estimations, of course. He's 11, 12 studs tall with the axe in the gun added to him. So let's set this thing off to the side. And let's start talking about a few more of his features. He rolls pretty well. He's a solid chunky dude. But let's take off the axe. axe, and let's take off his gun accessory, and let's just talk about the thing. We also take off this add-on accessory from TF Lab. That link, if you were interested in the TF Lab thing, is in the first video in the series. And we're going to pull off this little bit, that little bar that goes to the axe that's off to the side. Okay, now we've just got the prime. And in the best way I can think of this vehicle, it's like somebody took a semi-truck, an actual semi-truck with the smokestacks, and then they saw Rodimus Prime, and they went, but I want that. And they also saw a 20 style gangster vehicle, and they went, but I want that as well. And this is what they got. It's what do they call it? The Space Winnebago mixed with Space Semi mixed with 20 style gangsta car, and this is the love child of that. I guess this is a unique is the word for this type of vehicle. I mean, it's sleek. I remember it from the video game, and it always looking cool and speedy and really menacing on the roadways and stuff. But this was a just whoa! I forgot how goofy you looked, and not in a bad way goofy. It's just in a this is a very unique prime, and honestly, this was originally what I thought I was getting with the War for Cybertron Siege Optimus Prime, because all I had to go on were people's descriptions, and I could have sworn their descriptions weren't right, but it had been forever since I'd seen the game, and I wasn't really willing to trust my memory or my eyes. Why, and so that's what I was originally thinking. And then I get this guy, and I'm like, no, no. And it all comes back to me. I'm like, right. Yeah, it had all these triangles. So to give you kind of a description of what this guy feels like and not knock things over, let's talk about him in length, or at least, in girth. He's a hefty dude, by the way. This isn't light. He does have some hollowness on the underside, like he's got this big empty hollow section right under where his cockpit would be, just under where the smokestacks connect. But it's not visible on the exterior of the vehicle mode. The exterior of this vehicle mode doesn't really have any waffling whatsoever, unless you count the feet and these weird feet things. And I don't know if that's supposed to be there or not, but I do know that these slits over here are used for, and the slits are right next to the siege port in each of the bottom of the feet, and they're used to hold that gun in place. But I don't think need the hollowness at the front of these feet, and his legs could do with a little extra weight. But I do appreciate how hefty his legs are, and that's important in a figure. But we're not talking about the figure right now. We're talking about this vehicle mode. This is a hefty vehicle mode, and it's also together. Like when this thing pops together finally, the way it transforms by pressing everything together, it all just comes in, and it snaps down nicely. It makes for a vehicle mode that's exceptional, at least in my opinion. For what it's going for, this is great. This is just it's a unique sci-fi design. So you've got this weird little wheel well in the front on each side that poke out from the edges. Like you have this delta configuration going on here at the front with the nose, and it's a curved line on each side, and it goes down towards the front wheels, and above that bumper we've got a bit of a grill, and also for some reason they only textured in the very bottom of that, but above it, I guess that's supposed to be a part of the hood or something, but it feels like it should be part of the grill too, because in the 20 style cars that this is looking at, like a PT Plymouth Prowler, that would have that grill going almost all the way up. There wouldn't be so much metal there, but that grill's pretty cool, and we get this nice delta, like I said, this smooth edging of a rounded triangle going deep into the vehicle mode, all the way almost to the smokestacks. Like this cuts out the entire top of the vehicle in this nice feeling, all these nice lines, just smooth going all the way down, and the wheel wells come up from this curved bumper and go all the way back to the smokestacks where they end. And the smokestacks allow for the trailing of these lines to just kind of trail off into nothingness right there. And it makes it does, it's a treat. It's a treat to feel. And these lines are really smooth and excellent. And it just, this thing feels like it's not only a powerhouse on the road, it's also a speedy thing. You know, that's what it is. This feeling that I get from the front of this vehicle is the Batmobile from the Batman animated TV show from the 90s. That's the feeling I get with these big front wheels and this curved feeling, how they curve down and this curved nose. That's the feeling I get from this guy, is that type of Batmobile. Um, it's really cool. Went into a little extra depth there, but I wanted you to see it for yourselves and kind of get the feeling I'm getting from this. It's just a weird meshing of a bunch of different genres of truck, and it comes together. Well, it comes together quite nicely. A little goofy, but not like I said, not in a bad way. In a unique way, in a this is different way, in a I wish they had continued on with that series to experiment more with their designs. But to continue, we have on the back of this vehicle the two wheels on each side that we get with normal prime vehicle modes. And of course, we have this raised up platform here for these feet. But interestingly enough, you can kind of move these feet down. And this would give you a different kind of configuration for it, if you will. And if you wanted to, I don't know if anyone has talked about this, but this is something that I noticed, and you can't really do it with everybody, but because of the size of the feet, that's really important here. If you can, with the right feet, you can kind of get a figure to stand in there. He's not, Bumblebee here ain't doing it too right, because he's just, like I said, he's got the wrong feet. His feet are big and goofy. We need somebody with elegant feet. Do you have elegant? Oh, no. You got something so far beyond elegant feet. That is just not happening. Does anybody have elegant feet other than that guy? I mean, let's see. We got somebody with some tiny feet somewhere. You got feet. You got feet. Yeah. I don't think you're the right type of figure, but you may work. So let's try you. Let's see how you work in here with your. Actually, your feet are pretty big. Okay, so we're just gonna set this back. Pretend that never happened. All right. Anyway, if you can get a figure of the right size, you can put their feet in there, and that's not a small area. It's decently sized. Like we've got a McDonald's Cheetor from Beast Machines, and McDonald's Cheetor from Beast Machines. He can fit in there, but his legs are too wide. All right, we're done. We're gonna close it up now. But that's a thing you can do with this extra bit on the back. You can move that around and turn it into kind of a gun station, like I said, for different types of figures. But yeah, overall, that's about all I got to say about this guy. He's an excellent addition to anyone's collection, and he's a great little transformer. It's a shame that Cream has been sleeping under the bed, or under the table. I mean, ow! Don't bite me. I was just touching with my foot. Good grief, cat! Oh, that hurt. You hurt me. Anyway, thanks for watching blind_prime more than meets the eye. I've been your host, and tune in next Prime where we'll cover the letter O, building Braille, and we'll do the how quickly can a blind man transform it video for this big chunky dude. Until then, bye bye for now.